everybody, welcome to News by Muse. We are back for another great interview, and this is a fun one. It's called More Than Robots. It's going to be on Disney Plus, and we have the CEO of FIRST, Chris Moore. Chris, please tell us about FIRST and what the organization is all about.
Well, thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. So who is FIRST? FIRST, it's an acronym which stands for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. So we are a robotics community that prepares young people from pre-K up to grade 12. We prepare them for life. And we're doing that through a suite of innovative and inclusive team-based robotics programs that can be facilitated in school. We have an in-school curriculum, or through structured after-school programs. And so FIRST was founded in 1989 with the intention of solving a problem. And that problem is this: if you ask any young person today to rattle off the name of a Hollywood star or a famous athlete, I'll bet you'll find that names would roll off their tongues, right? Yeah. But then if you were to ask them to name an inventor or a famous scientist, they likely wouldn't be able to do so. And so our founder, Dean Kamen, had a vision. And that vision was to transform our culture by creating a world where STEM heroes or sheroes are celebrated and revered as professional sports athletes or celebrities in Hollywood, and where students are inspired by the possibility of someday becoming a world-class engineer, just as they would be as a star quarterback on an NFL team. And so, let's face it, sports are beneficial for kids. I've spent the past nearly decade of my career working in youth sports, and honestly, being awarded a D1 college scholarship or having the opportunity to represent the United States in the Olympics or on a national team, or serving as a professional athlete, those are unattainable for most, right? But by contrast, in our sport, a sport for the mind, every kid can go pro. And that's our vision, and that's what we're about here at FIRST.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I loved hearing about when I was reading about FIRST and learning about the background, especially coming from a STEM high school. It was just something that I think is desperately needed in this country. A lot of parents do push their kids to sports, and not everyone is going to be a professional athlete, but everyone could be an engineer, a robotics engineer, a computer scientist, different fields within STEM. And I like the fact that this is being highlighted in this documentary, More Than Robots. What was it like working with Disney and working with the team to be able to tell your story and to tell what you've been doing?
Well, first of all, let me just say that FIRST has an enormous network of leaders, partners, and supporters, from companies like Qualcomm and Disney to educational partners like Lego. And these partners provide support via mentorship. They provide team funding, access to build space, materials, and more. And so working with Disney was phenomenal, and just being able to work with the four teams who are chronicled in the documentary was great as well. So More Than Robots, which is the upcoming documentary, it doesn't just follow the four teams throughout the course of a first season. It really demonstrates the value of hard work and resilience in the face of adversity, and that's really those are among the life lessons that FIRST program teaches youth, right? Yeah. And how the fact that students were able to pivot from the pandemic and where their worlds were turned upside down because their season was cut short. Yeah. So the students in the documentary found new ways really to collaborate from home, and they were able to, during a cut short season through COVID, they were able to use their STEM skills to improve life for people in their communities. And that's really what this documentary is all about. Many students think robotics is simply too hard, or that they need to love STEM to do it. I know in my case, my parents, they were often afraid or scared by robotics as well. So it's our hope that by watching the film that folks will realize that that FIRST is about more than robots, hence the title.
Yeah.
And we chose these 4 teams because they represent different parts of our community.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that's what's going to really attract kids when they see the competition and they see what you can build and what you do in the competition. And it's kind of like a battle bots and exercises and stuff like that within the robotics realm. I think it's going to get a lot of kids interested in, hey, there's more to this than what you see at possibly even going to Disneyland and seeing the audio animatronics that were developed back in the 50s that are much more advanced now.
That's
And I
right.
think that's what I think a lot of kids are going to get out of this, and they're going to be excited. I'm hoping that they get excited because we need to see, especially someone like me who goes to CES every year, except for when COVID happened and we couldn't go. But when we go to CES, we notice that female engineers in STEM fields, it's growing, but it's not where it needs to be yet. Where is FIRST in that push to be able to get young women, to get them interested and get them involved in STEM fields?
Yeah, I think FIRST, like many other organizations in our space, have a lot of work to do. I know that we have worked tirelessly over the past few years to not only specifically target more gender equity in the field of science and technology, but also to focus on equity, diversity, and inclusion writ large. And so we've developed a number of strategies and have really focused our ongoing efforts to reaching more communities of color, greater gender diversity, and underrepresented groups within STEM.
Yeah. And this is the one thing kids sometimes don't realize when at a young age, that whatever you learn when it comes to a STEM field could be applied to anything. And that's the one thing that I really love. And this documentary does give hints to it and show kids that just because it's robotics doesn't mean that's all you're stuck to. You can do anything with this.
Well, that's exactly right. And what you'll find in the documentary is kids from various different backgrounds, and despite those backgrounds and those stories, these kids all have one thing in common. They've all, in their own unique way, they've been empowered by STEM and robotics. And we're really excited that the documentary will premiere on March 14th at South by Southwest.
Mhm.
And it will stream exclusively on Disney Plus beginning March 18th as well.
Awesome. Are you taking any of the kids to South by Southwest? Because I'm sure they're going to be really excited when they go see the tents and they go see the different companies that feature a lot of products.
My own kids, or just kids in
Your
general?
kids and FIRST kids as well.
So yeah, we will have FIRST kids there, and I'm actually debating about whether to bring my kids, because I'll be there screening the film as well.
Awesome. And I'm sure they're going to have a good time because South by Southwest, other than CES, South by Southwest is the next big tech convention in the United States. And it's really cool. And I'm sure they're going to get a great experience off of it.
And it's really grown over the years. Of course, the last couple of years due to COVID, they've not hosted a live in-person event. So we're excited to be featured there.
Awesome. And March 8th, well, premieres March 14th at South by Southwest. March 18th is on Disney Plus. Chris, I don't know, you're doing an amazing job. Keep it up. I think we need to see, hopefully FIRST grows so much bigger over the years, and because we definitely need that. We need diversity in the STEM fields.
Well, I really appreciate it. And I guess the last point I would make about the work that we're doing, and I often like to sort of demystify the work, is that we're more than just about competition. FIRST is about much more than robots, right? Our founder, Dean Kamen, often says that we're not, um, using kids to build robots, we're using robots to build kids.
Mhm.
And we're promoting a values system, with core values such as gracious professionalism and cooperation that fosters teamwork, cooperation, respect, self-confidence, sportsmanship, resilience, and all the life lessons that kids will need, not only for competition, but also for life. And so we're just really excited that we're building the next generation of leaders through our programs.
That's awesome. And before we go, you got to make sure we put this out there. If kids and their parents want to be a part of a FIRST program, how could they find out more about becoming and joining a program?
Well, so depending on where they are, we have teams that form, organically within the communities, but we have a footprint of regions and districts. I would just urge them to go to our website, and there's information on our website where they can actually connect with local FIRST delivery partners in their own community, or in some cases, if there's not a FIRST representative there, there's likely going to be other teams that have formed that they'll be able to join as well.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, Chris, for being a part of this. I always love talking tech because going to a technical high school and everything that I learned and coming back from where I came from, like I still remember learning on how to code on a Texas Instruments computer, learning basic for back in the 80s. And I see what can happen. And I hope kids really get inspired with the documentary and join a FIRST program near you. If they want to join and they want to learn more, we're going to put the link in the bio as well as links to Disney Plus, so you could be able to watch this documentary, because you got to watch it and watch it with your children and your grandkid, everybody, because this is a fun documentary to watch. Chris,
Michael,
thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.